Right next to me is the most affordable brand new Honda Civic that you can buy. This is the 2025 Honda Civic 4-door LX, and its MSRP price is $24,000. Now, just because it's the most affordable, does it mean it's the most worth it? Or not at all? Well, in this video, I'll be taking you through everything about this vehicle, and let's see together. Is it worth it? The MSRP price exactly of the 4-door LX model is $24,250. This vehicle has no options whatsoever, so it is base. And with dealer fees and destination, it comes out to be just over $25,000. Thank you to Executive Honda of Wallingford, Connecticut for allowing me to use this vehicle for the day. Their information will be linked down in the description below. Let's dive right into it and talk about the front of the vehicle because Honda has nailed the front of this vehicle. I mean, absolutely smashed it. This does not look like the most affordable Civic. This looks like a $40,000, $50,000 Civic. I love that. You go back in time and look at the old Civics, they kind of looked older, to me. They kind of had that more feeling. This does not. This looks extremely premium. You have LED headlights, LED daytime running lights, and LED turn signals all built up in here. Again, a $25,000 vehicle. With that, that's amazing. Now, going to the front here, you have the Honda badge right front and center there, and you have so much airflow for that engine. Airflow up top here and airflow down below. So much airflow for that engine to get more power. And then back on the design element pieces, over here on this corner piece, there's actual airflow. So you could stick your hand in there if you want, but this takes air sucked through the side to improve the aerodynamics of the vehicle. And you also have a little front splitter part up here. Now, does this really do anything aerodynamic-wise? Probably not, but at least it looks actually very cool and super sporty. From a distance, again, I could not tell that this is the base model Civic. Under the hood is where this vehicle actually shocked me because it's not a lawnmower engine. You would expect a $25,000 vehicle to be some, cheap kind of like 100 horsepower engine. No, this actually produces quite a lot. It's a 2-liter direct injection, naturally aspirated engine that's producing 150 horsepower and 133 foot-pounds of torque. Now again, that's not some crazy race car numbers, but that's not bad at all for this vehicle. And that is paired up with a CVT transmission. A lot of people don't like CVTs, but they are super smooth on the road to drive. You don't feel the gear changes whatsoever. And all that power is going to both front wheels because this is front wheel drive. And this engine gives this vehicle a really healthy 36 miles per gallon on average. So you're paying less than most people and getting more miles per gallon than most people. The key fob of this vehicle is very simple, like every other Honda vehicle. So you got the Honda badge in the back, this gloss plastic, the hard plastic outer shell, and then lock, unlock, typical type of stuff. There is no remote start that comes with this key fob, but you do have a trunk button. Hit that, the trunk opens up. Now it doesn't open up all the way, so you have to run over here, lift it up the rest of the way if you want, and it does not shut with the key fob. So you have to manually shut it yourself. Also extending on the idea that this vehicle does not look like the most affordable Civic, the rally red color they call it pops. It really stands out. Most vehicles nowadays, you'll see a black, gray, tan, very basic colors. This is popping. This again, from a distance, if I walked all the way back here, again, it looks really nice. Now this is where you could tell this vehicle is very basic. There's no roof rails and or sunroof on the top of this vehicle. The mirrors do not have blind spot monitoring built into them and do not have turn signals on the side. But I do like how the actual color of the body is on the mirror. Other vehicles which have black on the mirror because it's cheap and they cheap out, but this is not bad. Now these are 16-inch steel wheels. Yes, these are steel wheels. They're not alloy like other vehicles, and they have hubcaps on them. But again, from a distance, you can't really tell that's steel wheels. They look very nice. Then there's no button here to lock or unlock the car like other vehicles have. So you have to actually take the key fob out and lock it or unlock it if you want to. Open up the rear door and you're greeted to plastic. I mean, what do you expect in a $25,000 vehicle? Hard touch up here, the middle, there, down below. I guess that's where you want it to be hard touch. You put a cup there and then it gets spills, gets dirty, wash it away real quick. Now I will say though, this piece right here is a nice squishy cloth piece. So you can actually rest your arm there pretty nice. Other vehicles have hard plastic. I reviewed a $35,000 Chevy Colorado and they didn't even have a soft material right here. Now I will say in this, there's 2 speaker grills but this one is not active. This is actually a fake speaker grill. It's on this door and the door over there. They give you the same modeling of the higher trims, but only give you one speaker grill, which is down here. So just maybe put something, if you buy this vehicle, put something else there, because there's no need to, you can block it. Now, hopping in the rear seats, how is it? You actually have a lot of legroom in this vehicle. That's set to my driving position. I'm 5'8", not the tallest, and legroom wise is really good. Headroom wise though, it's cutting it kind of close. Again, I'm 5'8", and I got maybe an inch left of space. So if you're 6 feet tall, you might have to lean forward to actually, cover the headroom, but it's not bad at all. And then what do you got for amenities? Nothing. You have no AC vents, no USB Type-C or A ports. I guess for the AC vents, you're close enough to the front, so it'll hit you in the back here, no problem. But with charging a phone, you're gonna have to bring a cable all the way through the back here. Now, how is the middle seat hump? It is a pretty big hump, probably one of the biggest in the class, or the industry, I guess you could say. So you're gonna have to man spread in this vehicle, but it does leave a lot of room for 3 adults still. I would feel like that's enough room, so 3 adults should be able to fit in here comfortably fine. And there's no cup holder armrest on this trim whatsoever. So the only 2 cup holders you have in the rear is this slot over here and the other slot there. And that I do not think is gonna fit a large McDonald's drink. So if you have a large McDonald's drink, you might have to straddle it. If I was to rate the comfortability of these rear seats, I would probably give it a B-, because you don't have headrests that come up or down, even in the middle passenger right there. Those are stuck to the position. And it's nice, a little bit squishy, more on the harder side. It's all one piece, but I do really like the rear seat position. It's more of a laid back position, and I could definitely see myself taking a nap in the back if I want to. But when if your friend's driving you, watch out for corners, because there's no bucket seats in the rear here. So you're gonna get flown around, so wear your seatbelt. Open up the front door, and you're actually greeted to a little bit nicer door than the rear. It's relatively all the same with hard touch plastic here, down below, a bigger spot to put maybe 2 cups or a cup and a little snack there, and then speaker grill. They do not give you the fake one in the back. That's kind of cool. But where it gets better is the armrest here. So you have a nice armrest, same like the rear, but this part is also cloth as well. Where in the back, it was all hard touch plastic. So you get nicer materials up front. 4 window controls, 2 being 1 touch down and 1 touch up, where the rest you actually got to hold down and hold up. Mirror controls, and then you have a little button right there, and that pops open the trunk. So now you can go back and lift open the trunk. Both front seats are the same exact cloth bucket seats that actually hold you in pretty snug. They're not ultra soft, they're kind of more on the stiff side, but they fit and they're comfortable pretty good. Now you have manual controls, so forward and back, the tilt, up and down here, it's all manual, no power operated, and these are not heated seats. Turn the vehicle on with a push to start, and you are greeted to a half digital gauge cluster. It might look like a full digital screen here, but if you look closely, that part is where the screen cuts off, and that is all analog. So it's just a light up speedometer there, but you actually have a digital tachometer and a little digital miles per hour in the center there. Now this screen can actually do a lot with it. So you have this little scroll wheel down here and this home button. Hit the home button once, and now it pulls up a little menu. Scroll up and down on the wheel, and you've got range and fuel, speed and time, driver attention. So this will actually show your driver attention level. So if you've been driving for too long, it'll kind of warn you being, hey, maybe you should take a break. Then you can actually continue to scroll down. And you have a seatbelt monitor, which I like. It's the best thing Honda has ever put in their vehicles, because right now I'm not buckled. It detects the weight on the seat. If I go and buckle myself, it's gonna show a green check mark there. So if let's say you have kids in the rear and they were buckled at first, but then unbuckle themselves, and constantly while you're driving, you don't wanna have to look back, you could see, okay, did they unbuckle themselves, and then yell at them. So you don't have to worry about safety on the road. You can just see if they're buckled. Now, scroll down more, you have maintenance, safety support, and then if you want nothing whatsoever, you can go to no content and give it a few seconds, and this will be completely blank, so you don't have to have any distractions whatsoever. Now, I'm gonna be brutally honest here. This steering wheel is a plastic steering wheel, and it is not a soft plastic. It is pretty hard. Not that it's uncomfortable, but it's not comfortable, if you kind of catch my drift. So this is a hard plastic steering wheel here. What are the controls on this wheel? So over here is to skip left or right to music, go forward and back, volume controls, source to change your music, that home button scroll wheel that changes that screen over there, and then voice commands. And then over here, you actually have some safety controls that actually shocks me, because you have adaptive cruise control and lane keep assist. So you have advanced features, but you do not have blind spot monitoring. Why not blind spot monitoring? I feel like that's an additional thing you should add just for the sake of it, because those are pretty advanced features, but that doesn't seem to be advanced. Just put a little kind of camera there and that's it. But I don't know, that's what that has. And then you do have a backup camera with moving trajectory lines that, you know, actually move. It's pretty nice. Multiple different views and up close, or far away. It's not the clearest camera, but it definitely gets the job done. And there's no backup sensors at all. So I'm backing up to my tripod right now. It's not going to beep at me. I could just slam into the back of it. So watch out. Because this is a base model vehicle, it is a base screen. It's a monochrome gray screen. It is a touch screen though. It's pretty slow, I'll be honest, but it does have wired Android Auto and wired Apple CarPlay. And that's when you get colored and all the smooth, snappy bits because it's running off your phone. So what can you really do besides just music and radio and call through this is nothing. You're going to want to have Android Auto, Apple CarPlay hooked up because then you can do all those other types of things. I will say though that I like how Honda has physical buttons down on the side and physical scroll wheels. Other touchscreens are just a screen, no physical buttons. At least Honda gives you the option, okay, you want to turn volume on or off, just do simple, boom, right there. Don't have to mess through the settings. And talking about physical controls, the AC is all physical controls as well. And it's super snappy. I love the clickiness of it, fan speed on or off, different mode, easy to use, AC on or off. And it's only one zone climate control. It's not dual zone, so you can't do, the driver can't have their own climate and the passenger can't, but it's a small enough vehicle where it works totally fine. 2 USB Type-C ports there, a 12-volt cigarette outlet port. And I will say for Android Auto and stuff, you need a USB to, I guess, USB or whatever your phone is connected to. So you're gonna need that cable. You can't use a USB-A cable. There is no wireless charging pad in this vehicle. And there's 2 cup holders down here. You actually have a gear shifter with a drive, sport, and low mode with it. So that's pretty cool. Then eco mode, auto start stop, turn that on or off, parking brake, and brake hold. The armrest in this vehicle is a cloth armrest, but it's actually pretty comfortable. I've been resting my arm this whole time. Open it up, and you actually have pretty deep storage right there. You have this little extra cubby bit that actually shows on the back, if I can show it, the first generation Civic, like the outline of it. And it says, if it can zoom in, the Civic history goes on. So that's a pretty cool Easter egg. I do want to quickly say the overall look of this vehicle is not base. So it looks good on the outside and it looks good on the inside. The only thing this vehicle is really lacking is the features. But besides that, Honda did a really good job with this hexagon grille, you know, for the AC vents. It doesn't look like a $25,000 vehicle. I like that. The rear of this vehicle is where it does get a little bit more base feeling, and you could tell that it's an affordable Civic. There's really not a lot going on here. You have the Civic badge there, the Honda badge right front and center. I do like how it kind of lifts up. You have a little kind of lip spoiler here, not a full spoiler, but it makes it more of an oomph and aggressive bit. This has LED taillights, but it does have halogen turn signals in the back, where the front has LED and the rear has halogen. I guess, you know, you want to see in the front and it doesn't really matter in the rear, I guess, so that's not bad. Now you have your backup camera there, your license plate holder, and there is nothing else here. There's no rear parking sensors, so again, I could back up to you guys on the tripod. It's not going to beep at me, so watch out when you're driving this car. You really have to watch. It's not going to auto brake or anything. And there is one exhaust tip on the, I guess, that side of the car, whichever kind of side that is. My biggest disappointment about the rear here though is there's no trunk button. Maybe I'm completely off and there's one here, I can't see it. So you have to hold the key fob to open up the trunk, or you can go into the front door and then hit the button that opens it up. Now the trunk though is pretty big. I do have these floor mats in here, but hopping in the back here, let's see. Does it fit me? Yeah, it fits one whole mat, and I think you could actually fit 2 of me in here. Let's kind of go down in the back. Yeah, it fits 2 whole mats in the back here. There's a lot of storage. But now let's say you want more storage. You want to throw the rear seats down. You can do that. Just pull that lever right there and then push those seats down. It actually might be easier to go through this side and pull them down. But now it's really nice because it's all one piece. Other vehicles have 2 different separate pieces, so you have to do multiple work and throw that down. This is just all one piece, throw it down, put a whole cabinet in here. Did Honda include a spare tire or a fix-a-flat kit in this vehicle? Let's lift this up. And yes, they actually have a spare tire. Good job, Honda. Taking the 2025 Civic LX out on the road, how does it feel? It feels fun. This car is an absolute blast to drive. I have a smile on my face driving this car. It's so low to the ground, you feel like you're in a sports car, even though that you're not. The 150 horsepower engine takes us 0 to 60 in 9.7 seconds. That is pretty slow, but let me tell you, it does not feel like that slow at all. It feels very zippy. Just because you're so low to the ground, you could take corners going in pretty nice. This car has a really small gap from the wheel to the fender, so it just turns in very well. It's not overly stiff suspension, but it has more of a stiffer than a softer feel. The seat, I do have to admit, it's not anything to write home about. It's not extremely comfortable, but it's not bad. It does it well, and it has built-in lumbar support that you can't really adjust, but it's just built in and I can feel it pushing up against my lumbar. It is a fun vehicle overall. Honda has nailed it. For an affordable $25,000 price point, you get fun, practicality with all these cool features. Now again, you don't get heated seat, heating steering wheel, and all the crazy tech features like other vehicles do. But do you really need that? Like, yes, we want it, but do you really need it in the end of the day? And I feel like this fits that perfect price point, that perfect range for an affordable car for a teenager, for an example, or even an affordable car for an 80-year-old. This hits every single person, and it hits it well. I really do enjoy this. But the real question is, what do you think about this vehicle? Do you like it or do you absolutely hate it? And do you think it's worth the $25,000? Let me know. Be honest. Hey, let me know in the comments below. And please remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell to keep updated with more content. And a huge thank you to Executive Honda in Wallingford, Connecticut for allowing me to use this vehicle for the day. Their information will be linked down in the description below.